Love is spiritual, not natural. You ever think about that? This is absolutely miraculous. With love, you get the results now. Ever since Hope kicked me out of the house in 1988 and everything in my life was crashing at the same time, I have devoured new science, new healing things that are discovered, all kinds of things like that. And what I've always experienced is that true science is always in harmony with Scripture, the Bible, at least every time I've ever found. Okay? I'd been teaching for years that our memories, especially trauma memories, are passed down from generation to generation. And for about 15 years, my peers really had fun with that. I mean, they threw major rocks at me, saying, we have no evidence for that at all. Loyd is out to lunch on this one. Well, guess what? A few years ago, I guess it's about 5 or 6 now, headline news all over the world, brand new research that our memories, especially trauma memories, are passed down in the sperm. And then that was replicated, and they came to the same conclusion by another university and another one. And, you know, that's accepted today. Well, I was teaching that 15, 20 years before that research came out, before it was accepted. How was I doing that? Did I just have, osmosis or something? No, it was in the Bible the whole time. The sins of the fathers are visited to the sons, etc. Now, they're also going to find it's passed down in the egg. They just haven't done that research yet. And brand new research just in the last year that was headline news, they've now found it's passed down in the RNA from generation to generation to generation. In fact, that research was done at Tel Aviv University, and the title of their research article was, I don't remember it exactly, I've got it in my office, but it was unbelievable. It was something like, you can transmit messages to future generations. And that research was the research about it. Those memories are passed down through the RNA from generation to generation. So you can either positively affect future generations or negatively. Well, I want to affect my grandkids and great-grandkids, etc., positively. All right? Another of the most fascinating newer pieces of research is the new science of fractals. And my friend Dr. Bruce Lipton from Stanford Medical School has one of the best instructional things on fractals. You can go on YouTube and type in Dr. Bruce Lipton fractals and see the teaching. And this is I say relatively new science. Just in the last few decades have we become aware of this as our microscopes, telescopes, and testing can go farther and deeper into the world of the unseen. And to just put it very briefly, fractals are the smallest unit of all life. Okay? So every cell comes from fractals. Fractals are the smallest building blocks of every cell in your body. Okay? They make up atoms. They make up molecules, etc. And this is not maybe. This is not some wild hair thing. This is accepted science now, this science of fractals. It's proven. It is the truth. One of the fascinating things about fractals is, and I believe you'll see this in Dr. Lipton's teaching, is that there can be no future iteration of a fractal that was not in the original of the fractal. Which means if you go to any future iteration of a fractal, you will find in it everything that was in the original fractal. It works both ways, you see. Okay? So it is impossible to have an iteration occur 10,000 years later, 10 million years later, that was not in that original fractal. And if we look in the fractal today, we can see what was in the original fractal. Well, of course, when it comes to the spiritual matters, what that means is if we came from another species, monkeys, apes, whatever, if we came from another species, then you should be able to look in my fractals and see the fractal of an ape or monkey. In fact, I would have to have that if that is in my ancestry. The problem is, I don't have any fractals of an ape or monkey, and neither do you. Okay? So this is newer science than a lot of those missing link things that, at least to me, really makes the path that requires a miracle and a higher power make much more sense, because that path says, yes, there is a higher power, and he's the one that started all this and has the power and love and control and all that, where the other path says there are no miracles. It is only stimulus response, survival of the fittest, and everything came from nothing. So life came from non-life, all right? Well, to me, this contradicts that. And also something I said, I think I said before, Darwin, in his book, Origin of Species, he basically starts with life. He does not answer the question of life from non-life in that work of his. And all through his life, if you'll study it, he avoided that question. He didn't like that question. He went, in fact, he changed his opinion on it a number of times throughout his life, and admittedly was unsure how this could have happened. In fact, he said at one place that, you know, if life came into being in that little mud puddle, as you know, he believed was maybe how it started, if that happened today, the life would immediately die. It wouldn't flourish and become, you know, a complex, multi-cell person. It would die quickly today. But he supposes that possibly, because conditions were different then, it did not die then, but all of that is just possibility, okay? Well, it's fine to have a possibility. What possibility says is we really can't prove how it happened. Why can't we prove it? Because it seems impossible in our world today, which would require a miracle. Well, exactly. I believe the path is true that does require a miracle that came from a higher power who does miracles still today all the time.